Show starts in a couple of minutes, guys. Well, I just got a message that they're about to take the stream down because of the music, which I've been using this music here, this same exact loop for a couple of years, and it wasn't copyrighted before. I guess they changed that. So in the interest of not getting the stream shut down temporarily, it said temporarily, whatever the hell that means. I don't know if it did get shut down or not. Looks all right on my end. Anyway, what's up, everybody? It's your boy. Yes, it's me. It's Monday morning, 11 a.m. What happens every Monday morning at 11 a.m., you may ask? Well, you're looking at it, the Midday Show. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. till about 1 p.m. Thank all of you who show up for these shows, or even if you listen back later and you hit the thumbs up and leave a comment and all the stuff that YouTube likes that I don't care. Well, I like the comments. I could care less if people hit the thumbs up, but YouTube cares, and that's all that matters. So thank you for that. Shout out to, I've had an influx of join members, people that have been kind enough to join the channel. Yes, if you're new here, there is an option to join the channel. It's, well, here's the other thing about that. For some reason, I don't know if it's just an iPhone thing. I can't do it on my iPhone. I have to, if I want to join somebody's join, you have to be on a laptop or a PC. And then you click the button that says join, and there's 3 different options there. Cheapest option, $2.99 a month. Yeah, less than a pack of cigarettes. $2.99 a month. What that will get you when the season starts is I will start letting the members of the channel pick a game for me to stream each week, and it will be a private stream just for members only, and we'll watch the game together and shoot the shit and whatnot. I also have some other ideas for the members as well. Possibly giving me topics, like picking a topic for me to do a video on, maybe a walk and talk topic. Yes, the walk and talk thing's still alive. It's just on a sabbatical. So there you go. Thank all of you. You're all amazing and fantastic. Where did Wilkie get all of those Clemson paw emojis? That must be because he's a join member. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, what do you got planned today? First of all, congratulations to I watched the majority of the first round of the Lou Tube's Got Talent thing on its morning show this morning. Excuse me. Yeah, some of those were really good, man. Look, I'll just go ahead and be honest with you, and I think everybody agrees, anybody who saw that, it's going to be hard to beat X-Wing. And he doesn't even need to make a new one. I know Lou probably wants him to make a new one, but just that video alone will stand up to just about anything anybody else can do. So, yep, it was good. What are we going to do today? Well, today we are going to take a look at the news like we do every week, or every show, rather. Going to take a look at the news, see if we can get triggered a little bit there. As you can see from the title of the video, mountains are now offensive. I was going through, sort of skimming through the news this morning before the show, and saw something on there that was completely ridiculous. I mean, we've taken this offense, being offended by things thing to a whole new level when we start renaming mountains because the name of a mountain is offensive. Yeah, I have several talents. Problem is time to make those talents be known. Yeah, falling with style is a talent. That is right. Anyway, we're going to look at the news. Then we'll bring some people in the StreamYard. I do also, we can go ahead and check in right now with our favorite big-breasted flat earther. She was on a rampage this weekend. And really, she didn't really go on a rampage. Here's the thing. This is the only reason I'm even going to show you this. It's only like 3 minutes long. Is because I've showed you her profile and like her video library or whatever you want. I don't even know what you call it on TikTok. And she went from parading around in bikinis, showing her boobs and her ass, and getting hundreds of thousands of views and tons of followers, to then she started going into this flat Earth stuff. And she gets like 1/20th the views on the flat Earth videos that she does on the big boob videos. But now what she's doing, she can't figure out why. So she goes live and gets mad that not enough people are watching her flat Earth videos, and she can't figure out why. And so here, just watch.
Like the video, guys. Get some traction. I have a half hour to an hour to talk. I'm not sure when I have to go, but I really want to talk to my viewers, and no one's on here. I don't know. It's not normal. Not normal. It's usually better.
That's her stream buffering, not mine. Just in case you were wondering.
Someone tell me where the flat line is. Someone tell me where the container holding the water is. Someone tell me where the curve is. I would love to know. Where is the straight horizontal horizon on this thing? Really though. Just wondering. Yes, make your TikTok. They are shadow banning the shit out of me. I've never had lower than.
She thinks because there's not thousands of people in there watching her talk about flat Earth that they're shadow banning her.
I've never talked to lower than like 100 people, and it's 38. There's something going on. Someone tell me what is a container? No, someone tell me where the container is on here, holding the water. Why do I live from my car so much? You must not have been here when I tried to live from inside. It sucks. I have to hold my phone. I like to be outside. I have a breeze. I have good lighting, and I don't have to hold my phone, so that's why. I tried to do it inside, and I didn't like it. Oh my god, where are my viewers? I hate TikTok. I'm making a new account. Should I do that right now? I think I should make a backup right now. This is so fucking pathetic. Like, they are not letting me get seen. I literally would usually be talking to between 300 and 1,000 people right now. 35 people are on here. Like, can they stop filtering me out?
All right, she's about to put me to sleep. I got knows what she's doing to you guys in the comment section. Jesus Christ, I don't even know why I played that. To make a long story short, she can't figure out why boobs get more views than her sitting in her car getting mad at people who don't think the earth is flat. Let's see who's in the chat, shall we? Luke Walker's in the house. What's up, buddy? Matt Dummett's here. West Virginia guy says, let's go Mountaineers. Mike 3883, let the big dog eat. Eric, the duck man. He wants to know, is it September yet? I wish. Wilkie. He's just here so he doesn't get fined and for his contribution to society, according to him. What's up, Goose Sports? Jeff Webster. Is that Randall? Who, Spaceman? Yeah, that's Randall. Yeah, Randall's been missing for a while. I still have Randall. That's right. D4 is here. Slim Shady Canes. Colby. Nate the Great. Millis Vanillis. Yes, no Pigskin Pete video. For the talent show. I'm sorry I let everyone down. I'm sorry. Jordan Bowman's here. Uncle Lou. Sea-Dog. Oh, Sea-Dog, if you're still listening. Guess what I started watching this weekend? At your request. We started watching that show, The Boys. I think I know we finished the first season. I don't know. You know what? First of all, I really like it. I want to talk to you about it on the ACC show for a couple of minutes, at the beginning of the show. But I liked it. Mrs. Pete liked it so much more than me that she's, I had to stop watching it, and she just kept on watching it. Without your boy. Thought that was kind of messed up, man. She just went ahead and started watching the rest of it without me. So she's way ahead of me. But yeah, it's good. Thank you for the super chat, Millis Vanillis. You're amazing and fantastic. Yeah, she was having a Sleeta moment. Yeah, why is nobody watching me? I'm being shadow banned. What's up, SO? Zeus. Zona Tucson 93. SO. Rackdog. Joey Foster. How can anyone with globes like that be a flat earther? Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, sir. That is correct, sir. Yeah, I think Mrs. Peete might be on season 3 by now. I don't know. She watched a lot more than I did. I'm somewhere on season 2 still, I think. Anywho, thank you all for being here. You're amazing. Let's take a look at the news, shall we? Breaking news from the PigskinPeete YouTube channel. Okay, enough of that. I don't know how long that thing will play for if I let it. It's a long song. All right, let's see what we got in the news here today, if anything's good or not. Astra rocket fails and 2 NASA satellites are lost. California-based... Let's find out. Let's click it. California-based Astra on Sunday launched 2 shoebox-sized NASA satellites from Cape Canaveral on a modest mission to improve hurricane forecasts. But the second stage of the company's low-cost booster malfunctioned before reaching orbit, and the payloads were lost. Oh, no. The upper stage shut down early, and we did not deliver the payload to orbit. We have shared our regrets with NASA and the payload team. More information will be provided after we complete a full data analysis. We had a nominal first stage flight. The upper stage shut down early, and we did not deliver the payload to orbit. We shared our regrets with NASA. They just said that. So they were trying to launch a couple of satellites into space. Particularly from what they're saying, in order to better predict hurricanes. Don't know exactly why you need to do that. I mean, hurricanes don't just... Well, I guess that's not true. Sometimes in the Gulf, they do just kind of pop up out of nowhere and form in the Gulf, and then, hit Louisiana or Texas or, Alabama, Florida, whatever. But most of the time, there's plenty of, it has to travel all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, basically. They form off the west coast of Africa, and then they move west towards South America, Central America, North America. And you can see it coming for a while. So, but whatever. Anyway, it failed. So we're going to have to just deal with the, multi-million-dollar satellites that we currently use instead of that one, until they can get it right. Why this oil analyst says gas prices may head even higher? Well, imagine that. It must have been a slow weekend in the news world. Oh, listen to this. Man's vehicle rolls over him at a boat ramp, then sinks into Dan River. Did it kill him? God damn, he got ran over by his own car. This is not funny. This actually happened to my brother-in-law. Look, man, I don't know what happened with this guy. We're going to find out in a second. But if you're putting a boat in the water, and I know a lot of you guys, if you're boaters out there, I know a lot of you guys, you may be like, oh, no, I put the boat in by myself and take it out by myself all the time. Which I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying it's not safe. You need to be having somebody in the car and somebody in the boat, period. This happened to my brother-in-law. He was trying to, I can't remember if he was trying to get the boat off of the trailer or put it back on, but he was by himself. And this similar thing happened. Like he almost ran himself over and killed himself because there was nobody to, well, anyway, a North Carolina man had to be hospitalized over the weekend after a series of mishaps ended with him being run over by his own vehicle just before it sank into the Dan River. The identity of the man has been has not been released, but he's expected to survive. Okay, so he didn't die. Well, that's good. It happened Sunday, June 12th in Eden, about 80 miles northwest of Durham, near the Virginia state line. We were dispatched to Draper Landing in reference to a vehicle in the river. Once on the scene, officers found that a Rockingham County man was attempting to unload a kayak when a mechanical issue in his vehicle caused the vehicle to roll. A mechanical issue? As in he forgot to put the brake on issue. Seems like a convenient time for a mechanical issue to happen. Anyway, the vehicle traveled in reverse over him and into the river. Oh, wow. So it didn't run over him, but it did go over him. God, that would have been scary. Photos show the Jeep SUV was submerged up to its roof when rescuers arrived. The man was transported to a local medical facility where he said to have non-life-threatening injuries. So he got lucky. A relative of the victim reported on Facebook that he suffered a lot of broken ribs. He didn't fall trying to run the 40 in the Slob Olympics, did he? Because that's how I broke my ribs. So I got just as bad of an injury as a guy whose car ran over him. I'm just kidding. I did not actually break my ribs. I thought I did, though. Okay, so a happy ending to the story. North Carolina man ran over by his own car at the boat ramp. Indeed lived. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Iraq's Pearl of the South Lake, dry amid water crisis. Now look at that there. I'm assuming, if that picture is what I think it is, that's like a pier that goes out into the lake. And as you can see from this picture here, no water in sight. Jeez. They should probably do like they do over there in Dubai. I guess it's in Abu Dhabi. I don't know. Is that the same place? Anyway, over there, they seed the clouds with some sort of liquid silver, what is it? What's the name of that? Anyway, they spray this silver compound into the clouds, and they make it rain like once a month there. Because it's in the desert, and, they're trying to grow plants and trees and shit to make everything look cool. And so it doesn't ever rain over there, so they just make it rain once a month. Can you believe that? That's pretty cool. Silver oxide or some shit like that is what they spray. I don't know. We'll look it up in a minute, though. I'm not making this up. It's a fact. It's oddly, there's lots of articles about hot weather as if people aren't suspecting and that one was in Phoenix. Oh my God, it's hot in Phoenix in June. Let's write a news story about it. Oh, God. I am so glad I haven't watched one single minute of that January 6th thing. Is it still going on? You know what? I don't care. Don't care. Two-bedroom New York apartment priced at $12,000 a month. Jesus Christ. We were talking the other day about why there's so many people from New York and New Jersey moving down to the Carolinas and Georgia and Florida. That's why. And this looks like a fish that fishing football would catch here. Massive snapper caught by Texan spear fishermen could shatter the state and world records. Damn, that thing is big. A free diving fisherman may have spread a state and world record shattering fish off of coastal Texas. The spear fisherman Brandon Sharon caught a 137-pound Cubera snapper on June 3rd. Blah, 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 blah. Sharon's catch tipped the marina scale at 137 pounds, and if approved by officials, would beat the state record set in 1983 by 6 pounds, according to Texas Parks and Wildlife Department records. It also surpassed the current tackle record for the Cubera snapper recognized by the International Game and Fish Association, which weighed in at 124 pounds, and it was caught in 2007 in Garden Bank, Louisiana. All right, so spear fishing. Anybody ever done that? I think it would be cool. Look, man, diving down and shooting something with a spear has definitely got to be more exhilarating than just standing, on the side of a lake with a fishing pole in your hand. But with excitement comes risk and danger. If you guys ever watch Shark Week, these guys that go spear fishing, for albacore tuna and stuff like that, there's always stories on there of these spear fishermen getting attacked by sharks because you're at the bottom, you're on the bottom of the ocean. It's dark, and the shark is down there doing the same thing you're doing, looking for something to eat. And here you are killing fish, making it easy for them to want to eat it, and so they end up biting the spear fishermen. Same brother-in-law that almost ran himself over with a boat trailer, he does go noodling. Tries to get me to go with him, too. I'm like, nah, dude. I'm good. I'm not sticking my hand into a dark hole in the side of a river or wherever if I don't know what the hell's inside of that son of a bitch. I know that's all there is to that. I'm crazy, but I ain't stupid. Is 5 to 10 years fair for shoplifting $80 from a Walmart self-checkout? Bro. No. Please don't do it. I would say that 5 to 10 years is a bit harsh for stealing $80 worth of merchandise from anywhere. But let's see. When Chastity Shirley shopped at Walmart's Somerset, Kentucky store one day in 2018, she pulled what retailers called a switcheroo. She switched the barcodes from a toothbrush holder with those from a more expensive children's rug and slipcover and checked herself out of the store. Now, that's a smart woman there. So she went and taped the barcode from a toothbrush holder to something much more expensive. So it appears as if, she's checking out. It goes boop. She was caught red-handed by a lost control associate who was watching her. The cost difference between the item she paid for and the two she tried to take was $80.80. But instead of charging her with misdemeanor theft, which is the standard for shoplifting crimes of less than $500, a Pulaski County prosecutor persuaded the grand jury to indict Shirley for unlawful access to a computer. I want to know who this Pulaski County prosecutor is, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even need to know what the rest of the story. That whoever that Pulaski County prosecutor is a piece of human garbage. Wants to throw somebody in prison for 10 years for $80 worth of shoplifting, so she can make, or she or he, I don't know, can make a name for themselves in the legal world. Fuck you. The prosecution and Walmart contended that Shirley misled the self-checkout scanners. She was tapping unlawfully into the sophisticated computer system connected to them. By changing the barcode, that's not tapping into a computer. Oh. The appeals court also said in the crime did not meet the statute definition using a computer without its owner's effective consent. Shirley and millions of other Walmart customers have retail giants permission to use self-checkout scanners to pay for merchandise, which is also bullshit. They have 25 lanes in that son of a bitch. There's only 3 people working on any given day at those 25. Why even have 25 lanes? What's the point? Have you ever been into a Walmart ever and seen all 25 lanes open with people working at them? Ever. Even on Christmas or whenever, the holiday season, whenever they're really busy. The answer is no. So what do? They put self-checkout things in there. To make you do their job for them. So I don't know what the answer is no. I mean, the question was, is 5 to 10 years fair for shoplifting $80 from a Walmart? And the answer is no, it's not fair. But guess what? Life's not fair. I guess. Well, Rick, I'm with you. I prefer to be checked out by a human being. I mean, that's my preference, but I am also very impatient. So I will make exceptions in the self-checkout thing. If the lines are too long and I'm not going to stand there for 5 or 10 minutes in line, then I'll just go straight to the self-checkout in the interest of time. But if I get a choice between an open lane where I can go get checked out immediately or going through the self-checkout line, I'm going through the open lane and letting somebody else check me out. That's just all there is to that. We have this place here. There's actually the gas station right in my neighborhood. It's a place called Parker's Kitchen. I know there's a bunch of them in the southeast. But that's all. It's a self-checkout gas station. Now they have somebody, if you really need to go to a register, they'll check you out. But yeah, you have to scan your own shit, your own soda and potato chips and whatever else you're getting, and bag it yourself. Anyway. It's funny. I don't see the article on here that I saw that made me put the title in the video. So I'll explain that real quick, and then I'll move on to sports news real quick, and then we'll get to the StreamYard. But I was looking at this Yahoo News this morning, and there's a mountain in Yellowstone National Park. A mountain, I forget how they refer to it. Anyway, the name of it was Mount Doane, Doane. Mount Doane Peak or some shit like that. But whatever the board there is decided that, well, first of all, whoever this person is on this board, she's going through and just changing all offensive names in national parks, or what she deems to be offensive names in national parks. Now, I don't know anything about this Doane guy that it's named after. I do know that he was like a lieutenant in the Army back in, I don't know, the 1800s maybe, sometime. And I don't know anything about the guy. I'm assuming they find his name offensive because he was in the Army during the migration west, and he probably killed a bunch of Native Americans along the way, I'm assuming, especially if it's in Yellowstone, which is where a lot of Native Americans lived in that area. So, whatever. So now they named it the People's Mountain or some stupid shit like that. The People's Mountain. I'm really glad they did that. They're changing the world one mountain at a time. Okay. What's going on in this NBA thing? I know old Tiger Baskins was streaming the game Friday night, and I think Golden State lost that. And so what is up? Here it is right here. Boston's up what? What's Boston? Boston's up 3-1, right? So if they win tonight, it's over. They play tonight at 9 o'clock. Uh-oh. Ed Reed. Where's my Miami man out there? Ed Reed. Now, first of all, you have to know the backstory here. Well, let's just read it. That'll be easier. Ed Reed, by the way, he is the chancellor. I believe that's his position. He's some sort of royalty position for the University of Miami. Nobody, even Miami fans, actually know what he does as that position. But he is employed by the university in some capacity. But just no one knows what it is, including probably him. I just think they like to have his name attached to the university or whatever. But anyway, that's besides the point. Hall of Fame safety Ed Reed does not post frequently on Twitter. He posted something on Saturday that attracted plenty of attention. Reed, currently the chief of staff. Oh, no, chief of staff. Yeah. Not the chancellor. Chief of staff. Oh, wow. For the University of Miami football program, sounded off on the $100,000 fine imposed by Washington Commanders coach Ron Rivera against defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio in response to Del Rio's effort to downplay the January 6th insurrection, both by calling it a dust-up and by equating to unrest in 2020 result from the police violence against minorities. Today, I'm sick and tired, said Ed Reed. A dust-up, $100,000 is not enough. Money ain't nothing to a person who was recycled through coaching. It's always one. First it was Saban, now it's Jack. To just remind us of what it is. What? Did Saban say something like that? I don't even know what's he talking about with first it was Saban, now it's Jack. What does Saban do? Did I miss something? Somebody let me know. It remains to be seen whether the six-figure fine is the beginning or the end of the beginning. Like how they did there. It can't be ruled out that Del Rio, buoyed by support from the likes of Tucker Carlson, will quit before training camp starts. It also can't be ruled out that... Let's just pretend for a second here. Take whether or not you agree with what Jack Del Rio said or not. Forget about whether you agree with his comments. Did he say anything that was worth getting fined at all? Are people not allowed to have an opinion anymore without getting fired or fined? This is ridiculous. So I completely disagree with Ed Reed. Shouldn't be fined at all for saying that. Now, if he goes out and says some racist, homophobic shit, yeah, fine, whatever. But calling it a dust-up and then equating unrest in 2020 resulting from police violence against minorities, that's the guy's opinion. He's pointing something out. I don't know. Maybe I'm tired of, I'm tired of mountains being renamed. I'm tired of people getting canceled. It's all bullshit. Fucking retarded is what it is.
That is bullshit! That is bullshit! Yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
And now I'm getting mad. I'm done with this. What time is it? Time to bring people on? Fuck this. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, Pete.
What is up?
What's up?
Somebody's echoing.
My evil twin, the Cornhusker fan, his name is Nate the Great too, so he's my evil twin, Cornhusker fan. If you see it in the chat,
Ah,
do you see it?
yeah.
It's not me. It's someone else.
Yeah. Well, there's also somebody in here called Sharon Peete, which I think is supposed to be like a Karen Pete, but instead of Karen, it's a Sharon.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
Well, I did just kind of go on a Karen-like rant, so maybe they're right.
If y'all didn't know, I was a little perturbed that I lost, but it's all right. I'll get my revenge next year. But I know I have a for a talent show. I think Alan A. In my opinion, in my point of view, I think Alan A. Logged in all his troll accounts to advance his friend to move on to round two. That's my theory, but
So what you're saying is you feel as if it was rigged in his favor against you? This is
basically, yes.
We don't need conspiracy theories going around. I don't want to be a part of it, Nate.
Or, no, you don't. I'm not saying you do. You don't have to. It's not.
right.
It's just me.
Good.
In my opinion.
So are we trying to invalidate the winner of the
But
talent
overall, I
show
thought it was
already?
fun.
Well, Nate is. I'm not. Yeah, Nate is.
What, Slim?
Nothing, Nate. Go right ahead. I'm with you, buddy.
I got lost.
Nate, just take the L like a man, bro. Just take the L, man. It's all good. We tried.
Okay.
That's more than I did.
I did try.
Yeah. So I'm proud of you. Anyway, Slim, what do you think? Do you agree with Ed Reed?
Ed Reed needs to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
See, I'm completely with you. Find somebody $100,000 for having an opinion.
That is
on
ridiculous.
something that he was asked about directly in a press conference. I kind of went over something like this with Celine and Lou last week on his show. I don't understand the obsession with really people caring what quote unquote celebrity opinions are on political or social or cultural issues of the day. I could really care less. So I could care less what Jack Del Rio has to say either. But to fine him for having an opinion and then answering a question he was directly asked, that's the highest order of bullshit.
Of course it is. I mean, I don't think anybody should be fined for anything they say unless I mean, look, every workplace has rules. I mean, like you can't walk into Publix and then tell a customer to go fuck themselves. I mean, you can't do that. But
No,
I mean, but let's be real. But just simply having an opinion on something that you're asked. This is one of the reasons I'm sensitive to this is because I'm a Clemson fan, and Dabo Swinney doesn't really have much of a filter. When they ask him shit, he'll tell them how he feels about it, and people get all offended by him having an opinion.
What he was trying to do, pulling Nick Saban into it, was basically he was trying to say in a roundabout way that what Saban said about Jackson State and Deion was racist.
Oh, is that what he was talking about?
Oh,
That's what I got from it.
Oh,
because I had no idea what he was referring to.
Simply saying something apparently about an HBCU is racist, like everything else nowadays.
oh, Jesus Christ! What I mean, Jimbo's white, ain't he? Hell, Jimbo might be the whitest guy in all of college football. You didn't have any problem going after him. So, anyway, everything's racist these days too. That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't know what he was talking about there, but
That's what I gathered from
yeah,
it, 'cause I
all
read
right,
that same
that makes
article.
sense. Yeah, he's probably friends with Deion too, I would imagine. Anyway. Yeah. Hello, Matthew.
Good morning.
Is it morning still?
It is
Yeah,
11:51
it is.
a.m. Eastern time.
It is for another 10 minutes or 9 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning.
I got it.
You got a what?
I was gonna say I got another hour of morning. I'm an hour behind y'all.
Where are you?
Home. Well,
Oh.
on my way to work.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't load till late today, so I got up this morning and cut my yard when it wasn't sweltering hot.
So did I. So did I.
Well, Clemson is getting a commitment in about an hour. Another one.
Jordan gets him another fix.
Oh, yeah. Who? They got one over the weekend, too.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Who what was that guy?
Four-star receiver.
Yeah, 4-star receiver. That's right.
Noble Johnson out of Texas, and now Jamal Anderson. Jamal Anderson Jr. If that name sounds familiar, his dad was a running back for the Falcons when they went to the Super Bowl in the ninth. I don't remember what.
Yeah, I remember Jamal Anderson. Yeah.
Yep. He played for Utah. So it's down to Clemson and Utah, and I think Clemson is going to get him. So.
No, on the contrary, Lou, I don't like it either way. I don't like when that side of it either. So I know you're not talking to me. Maybe he's talking to somebody in the comment section. I don't know. Anyway, what were you saying?
I had a question. A Florida man told me on T2I's show that I should be worried about Miami recruiting because they're not top 10 right now.
I mean, I'm not worried about Miami recruiting based off of, stuff, the recruits that, Miami is in it for right now. I mean, I think they have a good shot at a top 10 class. So I wouldn't worry too much. And I think if the on-field, oh man, we're going to have this same thing with Luke jumping in and out, aren't we?
Well, I'm not worried about Miami recruiting because Miami's not going to make it to the playoffs for Georgia even to be worried about that. So,
well,
I don't know how Georgia would factor into that equation.
Yeah, but no, I think Miami has some. I think Miami will start getting returns on the trail pretty soon. So if I had to guess, I'd say Clemson and Miami will finish in the top two in the ACC, and then.
Well, I'm also a big believer that your recruiting matters a whole lot more during the season than it does in June.
Exactly. I mean, it is a little bit more important now because a lot more recruits are trying to wind up their recruitments before the season starts. But I think Miami has a big recruiting weekend at later this month, and so I think you'll see. I think you'll see a lot of commitments and stuff after that. So I wouldn't be worried about Miami recruiting. I think they're recruiting just fine.
I mean, I personally wasn't, but like I said, it's just a Florida man told me I should be because they're not top 10 in June.
Why would a Florida man be worried about Miami recruiting when Florida have like 4 commits right now? Why?
There's a whole lot about that statement that perplexed me.
Like,
I just want to make sure I wasn't the only crazy one.
Florida State has the best class in Florida right now, but it's June. Like, why are we talking about? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Florida State's going to finish with a top 10 class. I mean, they just have more commits than Miami or Florida do.
Right.
But that's the thing about recruiting. People don't really know how to properly, evaluate rankings and put things into perspective.
I mean, I think it's too early to kind of do rankings right now because Texas Tech is ranked in the top 5 for 2023.
Well, I mean,
it's definitely too early.
Well,
but
you have to have rankings. I mean, it's not. It's only just it's tentative and it's always changing. So
have you seen how many Texas Tech has almost their entire class committed already?
Yeah, they have like 20 guys,
and they're all. It's like all 3 and 2 stars, 2 and 3 stars.
No, they have a couple. I think
Texas Tech has a couple of what?
Texas Tech actually has a decent class. They have a couple. I think they have a couple 4 stars.
Oh, right.
I think they'll finish top 25, top 30, which is really good for Texas by Texas Tech standards. But yeah, they're not finishing in the top 10.
Well, speaking of recruiting, Arch Manning visited Alabama this weekend. What do y'all think about Arch Manning? Where does he go?
I'd say Texas right now. I think Texas makes the most sense, but I'm never counting out Nick Saban in a recruitment, and obviously Georgia is right there as well. So I don't know. I think it's. I read somewhere that Alabama was out of it before, but I don't necessarily think that's the case, and I think they're still pushing for him just because they already have a quarterback committed. But if Alabama, I think Alabama would certainly take 2 quarterbacks in their class if one of them is Arch Manning. So. I think Arch. I don't think it necessarily matters. So, but right now, I would say if you put a gun to my head and tell me where he's going, I'd say Texas right now.
Yeah,
No.
I'm kind of with Lou that I think Georgia's out of it because I have to question the sanity of any quarterback right now that would go to Georgia.
So you're predicting, Jordan, that he's going to go to Texas? Is that what you said?
If you put a gun to my, it's way too early.
Yeah.
But I said if you put a gun to my, I think Texas probably has a slight lead, but that recruitment is so under wraps, and like he doesn't go to camps, he doesn't, he goes on visits, but he doesn't speak publicly. Like if you go to his Twitter account, he has like 100,000. Well, I don't know if it's like 100,000, but he's got like tens of thousands of followers, and he doesn't have a single tweet. He doesn't make a whole lot of public appearances. Like the Manning family is like keeping the whole thing under wraps.
I know that Lane Kiffin laid it on thick, man.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they put his name in the end zone instead of Ole Miss or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I think Ole Miss is out. I think it's a 3-team race. I don't. I think it's Texas, Georgia, or
Alabama. Yeah.
And I'd say Texas and Georgia, and then Alabama.
Now, where does he? I should know this. Does he live? He lives in Louisiana. Okay, so LSU, no chance. You saying there?
It was thought at it, but no, that's not really a no.
That's interesting.
They're not really a play. Florida popped up at one time as like a dark horse, but I think that recruitment is down to those 3 schools that I named.
I also think Ole Miss is out of it because I think Arch Manning wants to make a name for himself. He don't want to follow in the footsteps of any of the Mannings.
Right.
In that case, Tennessee would be in the running for him.
Well, yeah, probably, but yeah, it's a 3-team rate. Clemson was in it, way early, and then then once we kind of read the tea leaves, where we were like, okay, we'll move on to Vizina, and I'm glad they did because I really wouldn't want this to be dragged out, and then Clemson, and then we're stuck without a quarterback commit.
And then we just got another big commit, highly recruited guy in the 2023 class at quarterback, and we got Cade Klubnik.
Right.
And
that's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we pivoted off of Arch to get Vizina. Not
that will stop him from committing somewhere. Anywhere he goes is probably going to be a capable guy there that he's going to have to compete with. But I have a feeling he's going to end up going somewhere where he's going to be the man day one.
Well, the Texas would make the most sense if that's what he wants. But I'm not gonna rule it because I think he could. I mean, if he's as good as his recruiting ranking says he is, he could walk into Georgia right now with their quarterback room and be the guy day one, or Alabama. He's got a perfect 100 or 1 point.
Well, no, the only way.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Slim.
The only way he could possibly go to Georgia, and you can think about.
You're breaking up, Slim.
You're R2D2ing.
Yep.
Yeah, you sound like a robot. I don't know if you're just in a bad spot or what.
There, is that better?
Yes, it is.
Okay. No, I was saying the only way Arch would have a chance at Georgia is if he went and walked onto the team. We all know that.
I knew that. I knew there was going to be a walk-on joke in there somewhere. Although you can't dispute facts, and that's probably a fact.
I mean, the question here is for some reason Arch becomes a bust in college. Do you automatically start him just because of his last name, or do you have good reason not to?
Well, if he's how do we know he's a bust if he hasn't played yet? So what do you mean if he's a bust? Because if he's determined to be a bust, that means you've already started him and you realized he isn't any good. So what do you mean?
Like, what if somebody beats him out in practice is what I mean.
I mean, that wouldn't necessarily make him a bust. I mean, Kelly Bryant beat out Trevor Lawrence for the starting job, in fall camp. I mean, he beat him out in quotation marks, but
he started the first 4 games. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. So I mean, it's not just because Arch doesn't come in immediately ready to start doesn't mean he's a bust.
I'll say this. I think the chances of him being a bust are higher than normal just because, I mean, let's face it, he's a legacy player, and most legacy players don't live up to the hype.
Yeah,
it's usually because the hype is so ridiculously high.
Well, but that's what they're doing to this kid. They're making him sound like he could play for the Raiders tomorrow. So,
Right.
And so it's going to be impossible to live up to that expectation. I mean, most likely. The only person that even came close to doing that was Trevor Lawrence's freshman year. Of course, he won a national title.
I don't even know if Trevor Lawrence's expectations were as nearly as high as Arch Manning's.
It was pretty similar. Now it's hard to really say who was more,
I don't know what the national expectation was. Maybe Clemson.
I think it was similar, but you add the Manning name component to it. It kind of.
Well, here's the other thing.
Arch is just as big a recruit. It just has a way more famous last name.
Yeah, but see, that is true. And Trevor Lawrence committed to Clemson early. There wasn't this big excitement around him committing. Like he committed early.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it wasn't a long
and we were talking about this last week.
He knew where he was going.
I mean, people have been waiting for Arch to go to college since he was an 8th grader. I don't think Trevor Lawrence had that.
He certainly did.
Well, we were talking about this. We were talking about this last week too. I mean, Jordan just said he doesn't go to camps or anything like that, and there's a lot of good players out there that aren't rated because they go to camps. So that kind of adds strength to the argument that he's rated as high as he is.
I think it's usually the opposite. They're rated purely because they go to camps.
It's because they don't go to camps that they don't get ranked.
But that's my point. That adds strength to the argument that Arch is ranked as high as he is based off of nothing more than his name.
I mean, quarterback camps are really just BS hype stuff. You can't tell how good someone is a quarterback and throwing on air. You just see how strong their arm is and how accurate they are against no rush.
I think camps matter a little bit more for skilled players, but it just like
offensive linemen and quarterbacks, they matter the absolute least for.
Well, it was either this show or the ACC show. We were talking about it last week. That unranked quarterback that had like 6,000 yards and 1,500 rushing yards.
Right.
So and the argument was made to me it was because he didn't attend camps.
I didn't say that was.
I mean, that's why they did it. Nobody's saying that's right.
Yeah, but they like to get. That's just how the recruiting industry is. They like to get eyes on you. It's not like.
And you also have to look at style of offense, level of competition. There's so much that goes into recruiting.
Yeah, and
like Carolina got a player from Alabama. He's a quarterback. He's a mid-level 3-star. He threw for 4,000 yards and ran for 1,500 at the highest level of competition in Alabama. He was a mid-level recruit because his teammates were so good. Like he had 4 or 5 5-stars on that team. So they made him a mid 3-star because they thought he was getting carried by his teammates.
Now the stars thing can get tricky, but people like to pretend like these camps don't matter. That they wouldn't spend these universities wouldn't spend all this time and money on going to these camps. They want to get their eyeballs and not just watch film. They want to get their eyes on the guy.
The thing about it is camps have actually gotten less popular recently because there's so many ways to watch players now.
Yeah.
Like Carolina's cut down the amount of camps they do by quite a bit. I think they're doing one this year.
Well, it really just serves as a recruiting thing now. It's not like Clemson holds
it's not evaluation.
Clemson just had a camp. It wasn't. I mean, they don't do those things for evaluate. It's for relationship building and especially a program like Clemson. Well, with the way they recruit, it's like, well, we want you to come to campus before we offer. We want.
Well, plus it's clear that it was a recruiting thing because the week of the camp they made like 10 offers. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with that because that's why Mario's following what Mark Richt did. And, he's coaches for the camp. He's bringing in, Michael Irvin to be the wide receiver coach, and he's bringing in Jeremy Shockey to be the tight end coach. So, yeah, it's a big recruiting event more than anything.
Yeah, the camp evaluation is really for recruiting sites, not the actual schools.
Right.
Now, right now, like, the only reason why I say Art Reason would go to Georgia if he had a pick is because, number one, Georgia has proven that they can win a national title in today's college football.
And Alabama hasn't?
Well, I'm trying to get to my point here. Number two, I mean, think about this. On paper, I'm just saying on paper, the people that are coming into Georgia on defensively are going to be better than the ones that just left out. On paper. I mean, obviously we don't know that yet, but on paper they're better. And I think Kirby Smart's building something at Georgia that, I mean, we don't know when Saban's going to retire. And, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he would have more of a name for himself at Georgia than he would. I mean, Alabama has multiple titles with multiple quarterbacks.
I don't think it's a name thing.
No.
He's gonna have a
doesn't
name
matter where he goes.
Yeah.
He could go.
He could play at Charleston Southern. He'd be the biggest name in college football.
Yeah.
And it's also this. I think how you're seeing how Alabama was able to dominate the country over the past 10 years is quickly coming to an end because of, and I brought this up before, because of coaching hires that have been made. USC is fixing to be back on the map because of the Lincoln Riley hire. Miami's fixing to be back on the map because of the Mario Cristobal hire. So that you're going to be able to go multiple more places now and make a name for yourself and really contend for a national title.
Right.
Well, I have a question about that. Whenever a team says that they're back, what does that really mean? Like, back to being like top 10 or back to winning national titles, or
That's a good question, Matt, and that's different.
Miami's back every year.
That question is different for every individual fan that you ask that question to. To some people, being back means you're winning titles. To some people, being back means you're ranked in the top 25 because you haven't been for the past 10 years or whatever.
Right.
It's a wide spectrum of answers to that question.
Well, I think it should be based off of, what are realistic expectations.
Well, I think so too.
I'm not expecting Miami to contend for a national title this year. Matter of fact, I've said it several times this offseason. This year, as far as I'm concerned, is a wash. I'm looking forward to around 24 or 25 once he's had a chance to build that roster.
You also have to have past success to be back. Like North Carolina's never.
That's true too.
First time.
People say dumb shit though, like with the Texas is back thing a few years ago. But Jordan, I don't know if you saw it. I posted a comment that I got from an Ohio State fan yesterday about we've been hearing this for 5 years, which is the ironic thing. Of course, he's trying to tell me Clemson's only been good for 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
But I was hearing that 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now, go ahead and explain that one to me.
The goalpost keeps moving.
Time keeps moving on, but Clemson's always only been good for 5 years. 5 years from now, they will still have only been good for 5 years.
Right.
Yeah. So people say dumb shit, and including with the expectations of their football program.
Yeah, Clemson's had double-digit wins the last 11 years. So, the only two programs that have done that are Alabama currently and Florida State under Bobby Bowden. No other program in college football history has done that. I don't. If that's only being good 5 years, I mean, I don't know.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Ballard?
Andy said, I've been watching college football for 20 years, and Clemson's only been good for 5. And I'm sitting here going, well, damn, 130 teams in FBS. 20% of your life, Clemson's been good. That's pretty good. You know?
Right.
I mean, if I'm doing the math correctly, right?
Yep.
And people's definition of irrelevant is so wild to me.
Well, I don't know. Is
Like,
that
there are
Clemson
people
math?
that think
might
unless
be off.
you make the playoffs, you're irrelevant. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the new ESPNified college football we live in right now.
Pretty
You're
much.
not one of the top 4 teams in the country. You're not relevant.
Right.
you're right,
I think
Slim.
what makes
It's actually
I think what
25%.
makes a team back though is, you know, if it's like, okay, was Texas really back when they beat Georgia and Sam Ehlinger stood up? No, but I think if you can do stuff like that year in and year out, and you continue to improve and get better, like a team like Georgia under Kirby Smart, like what Dabo's done with Clemson, and like what Nick Saban's built. And I'm not saying you don't have to win titles, but if you can be consistent and consistently good and do it year in and year out, I think we could call you back as a program.
A good example of that is Notre Dame, right? Because Notre Dame wins 10, 11, 12 games a year. You know, they made the playoffs several times, but people, you know, they talk about them like they're a mid-level team because they haven't capitalized and won the big one or even won a playoff game, honestly. They haven't won a playoff game, have they? No.
And there's so many teams that would love to be a Notre Dame.
Exactly. That's my point. So Notre Dame is a top 5, definitely a top 10 program. Wherever you want to put them in there, I think everybody who, with any sense at all, can say they're a top 10 program. But to some people, Notre Dame sucks. You know, you hear that every year.
Yeah.
I mean, college football has changed as far like before, like 2006, you only played like 11 game regular season. Now you play 12, and then now there's playoffs. There's more games that you can potentially win. So winning 10 games, is that just like a good team or not a very good team? I mean, what do you classify? Like
10
Kentucky
games is a
went,
very good team.
I would say, I mean, what's the average? How many teams every year win 10 games on average? That's what I'm trying to ask. It can't be.
I think it's a lot.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, if we're talking, I mean, not even
I
just
feel
talking
like
Power 5,
winning
but
10 games in
FBS,
college
it's like-
football is comparable to winning like 13 in the NFL.
Yeah,
which
of
is a
course it
great
is.
season.
Yeah, winning 10 games, especially if you do it consistently, is impressive. You know, if you do it, let's say you're a team that normally wins 7 or 8 games a year, and you have a 10-win season, that's a big deal for that season, and you had a great season. Like, let's say like a Wake Forest, something. They win 10 games, that's a big deal.
I mean, Carolina won 11 games in 2015. I still remember that team.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite Carolina team of all time.
There you go. There you go.
That was a good team.
Yeah, should have beat Clemson.
I mean, like Kentucky last year, they
Lost to
won.
Baylor,
They
too,
went.
so.
Yeah,
They
we
went
got our ass
10-3.
beat by Baylor. That was ugly.
Kentucky went 10-3. So you would say that it's like a very good team or a good team,
Which one?
or like Kentucky, like they went 10-3.
Did they go 10-3 last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They, beat,
Ole Miss, too.
They beat Iowa in the what was it? Not the Music City Bowl.
Well, I mean, that is a very good season.
And then they beat the
I don't think
Badoo.
anybody could say otherwise.
Then they beat the Badoodoo out of Louisville.
Hey,
That was
Ballard's
awful.
got a point too. That was Ole Miss's first 10-win season in like 60 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was their first 10-win regular season in school
I
history.
feel like
They went
program
10-3
fans like
and-
Georgia and Alabama just don't understand how big a deal 10 wins is for a lot of schools.
Yeah.
Like 10 wins.
No,
is
I
really good.
understand how big of a deal it is. It's just that, you know, us Georgia and Alabama fans the past few years, especially Alabama, and I don't want to throw my own fan base under the bus, but we've gotten so used to the titles that anything short of that, and let's just call it what it is, we get pretty pissed off.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Even
most
we
of
had
you-
an 11-2. We had an 11-2 season in 2019, and we won a Citrus Bowl. And I personally could not handle that.
Ballard, it sounds like you have your phone inside of your mouth when you're talking.
It does.
I'm just yelling. I like to yell.
All right.
Yeah, most of you Bama fans are going to have a nervous breakdown, except for like Law, Tide, and Webster. That's probably all the Bama fans on YouTube that are old enough to remember the last time Alabama was dog shit.
Yeah.
But I remember Georgia going like 8-4 and still telling
that's not bad.
I know it's not bad, but I'm saying like
complaining about winning 8 games. They're like, "Oh, I feel so bad for you."
nobody said that. Nobody said it was bad, but I remember trying to figure out a way that Georgia can still make the SEC championship, and I was being delusional.
I was watching Uncle Lou videos where he was having mental breakdowns over winning 8 games while watching my team win 2.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. All I've heard is how dog shit Miami's been, and they've been around 7-5, 8-4, 9-3 over and over again over the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Well,
come on now, make a consistent argument.
Well, no, I mean, it's perspective and it's
perspective and expectation.
But for Miami, that's not good.
I also have never said they've been crap. I said Carolina and Miami have been around similar levels for a long time, so you can't talk.
Well, I don't mean you specifically. I just mean in general.
And Carolina and Miami have been sort of the same level for a long
we've
time
been the
now.
same program since Miami joined the ACC.
Pretty much. Well, statistically they have, yeah.
It's kind of been the same, at least in my lifetime. I've seen them have one losing season, and we made a bowl game that year. I mean, the worst year I've been allowed to see was 6-7, and then and then any year, but we went like 3-8 in '98, but that was a year before I was born. But
you have people.
I've been pretty spoiled in some perspectives, So, well, especially obviously these last 10 years, but even before that, things could have been a lot worse.
You have people saying, Texas ain't like Jimbo Fisher. If he don't win more than 8 games in the next couple of years, then he's going to be on the hot seat. 8 wins ain't that great nowadays.
Yeah, but they were going 8-4
That's
with Kevin Sumlin.
expectations, though. That's another expectations thing. Like if Mac Brown goes 6-6 again this year, he's going to be on the hot seat.
Well, like I said, Kevin Sumlin managed to go 8-4. If you're paying a guy $75 million, you expect a bit more for your money.
He just got the greatest recruiting class of all time. If he goes 8-4, that's a ridiculous underperformance.
Yeah.
So then we're 1 year, or not 1 year, but we're coming off the first season for, who's the new Auburn coach? Brian Harsin. Why was he being talked about as getting fired already?
Because people at Auburn don't like him. He's not a good person.
Oh, okay.
That's why
Urban Meyer's not a good person either, but people find a way to deal with him.
Yeah, because he wins. Well, he did at college. I'm not talking about Jacksonville.
Well, and most of them just don't work out in the pros. It just seems to work out that way.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have as much control in the NFL.
You literally had... throw Barry Switzer out of it because he was handed Jimmy Johnson's team, but Jimmy Johnson and Pete Carroll literally to win titles at both levels.
Mark Richt built that 2017 team that Kirby Smart had that went to the national title.
Does Brian Harsin kick his kicker in the leg like Urban Meyer did to his?
He might.
And yell at him and tell him, you better make this effing kick. Mother effer.
And tell all his coaches, even though
just because it hasn't been made public yet doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
Hey, you guys remember that movie Varsity Blues? They make Urban Meyer out to be like that guy, that coach. Like he's out there beating up players and shit.
I remember a couple years ago.
Bud Kilmer. Yeah, that's it. Bud Kilmer.
Yeah.
I remember in the third Saturday game a couple years ago when I think Tennessee fumbles the ball at the 1 yard line and Alabama picked it up, and it cuts to the sideline. I remember Jeremy Pruitt was the coach, and he literally went over to Garantano and yanked his helmet.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, it's not that bad. People that freak out over that stuff.
Clemson's, or Dabo Swinney, has been in trouble several times over the years for grabbing players by their face mask and yelling at them and stuff.
Yeah. It's funny because South Carolina fans were like the main culprits of crying about Dabo's antics on the sidelines, they literally had Will Muschamp. I mean, have you ever seen Will Muschamp? Like,
oh, when he was at Florida, he got in trouble there, didn't he?
Yeah,
that was when he was at Florida.
Yeah. I mean, he did it at South Carolina too. I mean,
but there was like a whole scandal and shit. Like they were like he got in actual trouble with the university. They reprimanded him in some way.
At South Carolina, but he still was yelling at players on smacking them on the helmet.
You remember
normal coach stuff?
What, 2 years ago? I guess it was maybe in 2000. I don't remember. Maybe was it 2020 or 2019? Anyway, remember Andrew Booth punched that player.
That was 2019.
2019.
That was his freshman year, Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville. So Andrew Booth, who obviously went on to be drafted this past year, he's an amazing player, both by Clemson standards and everybody else's standards. But anyway, he punched the guy during a game. I mean, a total dirty play. Not only did Dabo Swinney bench him, but he put his ass on a Greyhound bus to ride back while everyone else took the private jet back to Clemson. And, you remember the backlash with that? Oh, what a piece of shit Dabo Swinney is. He doesn't care about his players. He made this poor kid ride a Greyhound bus for 12 hours when the rest of the team took a plane.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? And guess what? He never got in trouble again, graduated early with honors, and now he's in the NFL.
I mean, that's players have to. I mean, we've had a ton of examples of players that came in, not really, maturity wise, ready to, to play, and they come out to 3-4 years later, and they're I won't say model citizens, but they're way better than they were going in. So
well, I bet you if you ask that Clemson,
something went wrong with a couple of them apparently.
I bet
that ain't got nothing to do. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
I bet if you ask that Clemson player now, if he respects Dabo, he'll say he definitely does.
Oh yeah. Well, they have asked him about that particular thing, and he said that he thought he deserved his punishment. Listen, it could have been worse.
Him on the Greyhound is hilarious, though.
It is funny, and the fact that people make it seem like that's some sort of abuse, which is funny. Like you're abusing him by doing that.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, what, riding a bus? That's something people have been doing for ages. Like that's not making him.
Well, I mean,
it's not even that long a bus ride.
Sweeney said I wanted to give him a good 12 hours to think about what he did, so maybe he won't do it again. Yeah, and he did.
Yes, but with this spoiled, entitled generation we live in, it's the most horrible thing since the Holocaust.
Yeah. Well, sounds like something Saban would do too. Saban doesn't put up with any bullshit either from his players.
Remember that one Alabama player tried to fight the coach during the national championship?
Yep. That was was that was that Jaron Reed?
I don't know who it was, but he was like a high 4-star player and ended up transferring to like Tulane.
No, that wasn't him. No, because Jaron Reed because he.
So I remember seeing a video about what happened to him, and he was at like Presbyterian 2 years later.
Christian says Napier is from the Dabo coaching tree. Of course, he's going to be great. I don't really. Is he really from the coaching tree though?
Yeah, I mean, well, he is.
I mean, technically he is. But Dabo fired his ass.
He's still the coaching tree. Is. I mean, the coaching tree still. It's whoever. If he's worked for him, he's part of the. He's part of the, whether he was fired or not.
Does that make Kevin Steele part of the Dabo coaching tree?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Part of the Dabo coaching.
You can't take credit for all the successful ones, then not take credit for the bad.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he is. But
the only reason I asked that is because Kevin Steele got into coaching when Dabo was in middle school.
Well, it doesn't matter. There's coaching trees.
If you coached under him, it's still his coaching tree.
Coaching trees interlap, and some, that's how it works. If you've worked for someone, you are part of their coaching tree. If you've worked under them.
Do you know the rumor that goes around about that firing? I think I've talked about it on here before. The rumor is that
it wasn't even announced as a firing. It was kind of like a parting of like he wouldn't be. It was like a parting of ways. Like
okay, so that fits into that fits into the rumor. Of course, this is just a rumor. I have no idea whether it's true or not. But the rumor is that Dabo Swinney said, "I'm going to fire him." He brings him in his office and says, basically, "Look, dude, I'm firing you. To save face, we'll say that it's a mutual departure. If that's what you want to do." And the rumor is that Billy Napier then punched him in the face in his own office and left.
No, if Dabo Swinney didn't beat his ass, I lost a lot of respect for him.
So that's the rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, and I don't even know where it came from. But I've heard several different people like refer to that. So I don't know if there's any truth to it or not.
Really? I mean, I've never heard Dabo like in interviews talk. I haven't heard him talk about.
Well, I'm sure he's never mentioned it. So I don't know if the rumor's coming from Napier or what, but that's just a rumor.
I don't mean like if he mentioned the incident. Of course, he wouldn't talk about that if it happened. But like, I've never heard Dabo like just talk about Billy Napier in general. So I don't.
I don't really think, and of course I don't know this either, but I get the feeling that they're not the best of pals, if you know what I mean.
Probably not.
So
I mean, I would imagine because I don't think Dabo and Kevin Steele are great friends. I mean,
speaking of coaches fighting, by the way, have any of you guys ever seen the video of the Carolina and NC State coaches fighting after the game?
No.
It was on the field. The Carolina coach body slammed him. I think it was 1993.
Now, see,
After
why
he blew him out, of course, but it was a hilarious video.
Why couldn't we have that with Vanderbilt in Florida a couple years ago when Mullen got a big head for a minute?
UNC coaches fight. I'm going to see if this is on YouTube.
It's definitely on YouTube.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm gonna ruffle some Clemson taters.
NC State had a late hit at the end of the game.
No,
coach did not approve of it.
Correction, Matthew. You're going to attempt to ruffle some Tater fans' feathers. Go ahead.
So speaking of Dabo Swinney and speaking of coaching and everything, I mean, I was listening to Paul Feinbaum's show and he made a statement that I actually agree with. I do believe once Saban retires, Dabo will be your new Alabama head coach.
No.
What Feinbaum said that?
Yeah.
That's interesting considering his comments that he's made in the last week or so. But
well, I pointed this out the other day. I think Lou was talking about Feinbaum. Feinbaum's the highest paid troll in the world. So, I mean, if you actually take his football take seriously, that's more a testament to your intelligence than anything else.
Right.
Well, not only did I hear that from him, but I mean, Dabo was a receiver at Alabama, and
we know.
Why wouldn't you?
I've heard this.
Why wouldn't you want to go to your alma mater?
The same reason Frank Howard and Danny Ford didn't go to their alma mater.
Dabo Swinney has been at Clemson for 20
people that went to their alma mater.
Listen to me. Dabo Swinney's been at Clemson for 20 years. If you add up his coaching and his playing career at Alabama, it doesn't even come close to that.
And May and Matthew, I don't know if you know this, but before Dabo Swinney was named the head football coach at Clemson, when Nick Saban got to Alabama, he offered Dabo Swinney the passing game coordinator job and a $350,000 raise, and he didn't take it.
I can't find this, Luke. Do you know what am I searching here? Because I put in NC State.
Mark Rick was at UGA for 15 years and still went to his alma mater.
Well, by that line of thought, then Alabama.
I'm going to DM it to you on Twitter.
Nick Saban should be chomping at the bits to go to Kent State, then, shouldn't he?
Apparently.
I mean,
that's Nick Saban's alma mater. Shouldn't he be chomping at the bit to get to Kent State?
And no, your Mark Rick example. Mark Rick was fired. He went to his own. If Georgia hadn't fired him, Mark Rick would have retired as Georgia's head football coach. That's simple.
I bet they miss him.
All right, let me see here.
I'm sure. All respect to Mark Rick though.
It shows the lead up to it and stuff like that.
Sucks what he's going through.
Kirby Smart was literally about to sign as South Carolina head coach, but as soon as Georgia called him, he changed his mind quickly. That was a no-brainer.
Well, of course he would. I mean, anybody with some sense would have changed their mind.
Yeah, why would you go to South Carolina?
I mean, listen, Lou Holtz and Steve Spurrier didn't go to South Carolina until nowhere else would hire them.
Okay, I got the video here. Hold on a second. Now, what is this here? How long is this? This is only a 30-second video?
Yeah,
Okay.
they break it up pretty quickly because it's two coaches fighting after the
Okay,
game.
so the title of this video, I'm going to put it on the screen, but the title is... Oh, no, I lost it. The title is Donnie Thompson Body Slams Ted Kane, 1993. And, of course, that is... North Carolina's coach is Donnie Thompson, right? And Ted Kane is the coach of
They're both
NC State.
assistants at that time.
Are both assistants. Okay, you guys ready? It's a 30-second video. Enjoy.
1993 at Carter Finley Stadium. Watch this throwdown on the sidelines as Carolina quarterback Jason Stanisiak was ushered out of bounds by Ricky Bell. Helmet swinging ensued. The coup de grace, though, came in the postgame when UNC linebackers coach Donnie Thompson stopped and dropped state offensive coordinator Ted Kane right there. Thompson reportedly angry that Kane hadn't shaken hands. Carolina beat State 35-14 that day in a top 25 battle. And check out all the cool snapback hats, which are back in style right now, too. But let's say...
What?
Drop them.
Oh, Lord.
That's what we do to NC State every year.
Let's
That's
see.
what Alabama's been doing to Tennessee, too.
Let's see if there's any video of the Clemson versus South Carolina fight.
There's plenty of videos of that.
Yeah, there's plenty of that. That's
Now,
There was a
I gotta-
Miami South Carolina fight back in the day too.
I got a question.
What was the
for you,
Miami
Slim.
fight? It was like FIU where people got like charged.
No, nobody got charged in that one.
There was some huge brawl between Miami and some directional Florida school.
Well, you had Miami and FIU, and I mean, you've had Miami. There are 30 different videos of fights of.
look at this one.
fights.
Miami Brawl versus South Carolina, 1987. Do you remember this one?
Yeah, that's the one I was just talking about. When they got in a fight with South Carolina,
Let's see it.
they tried to drop the quarterback on his head.
Okay, well, here's the video of it. It's only 2 minutes long.
Now there's no flag there, and here come the Gamecocks, and we've got a free-for-all.
it wasn't even that bad.
That was pretty late.
It was late, but it wasn't horrendous. Like, and he didn't really slam him hard. He just kind of continued to tackle.
And it was more by his jersey than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in that situation as an offensive lineman where your quarterback gets hit late and you're already pissed.
Was this at the end of the game?
Yeah, I was trying to see.
Because
It's got to be probably sometime in the fourth quarter. I don't know if it's the very end of the game though. Well, I don't know. It was maybe.
Because Clemson's in South Carolina. It was like the last Clemson was up by like 20.
Yeah.
And then like frustrations, like
Oh, I'm gonna show some of that in a minute. A poor Lou Holtz. I mean, that guy. He almost literally died on the sideline that day.
yeah, I know that was his last game.
Was that
Yeah.
the fight where people had to get like tased and stuff?
Yeah, like the people went to the hospital. I mean, there's people getting their heads stomped. Dude, it was a vicious brawl.
Yeah.
It was vicious. Well, let's just look at some of it.
I mean, there's that famous picture of who was it? I can't remember his name. Kicking that South Carolina player. Like,
Yeah, I've got that picture. Actually, might have it loaded on OBS. I don't know. I put it up there before.
I found a video of Joe Paterno cussing out Doug Grabber one time.
Yeah, well, he should have cussed out Jerry Sandusky, but he failed to do so.
One player from the ESPN article. I forget his name.
All right, so here's the what was this? 2004. Was it 2004?
okay, yeah, it was 6 minutes left.
Yeah, here we go.
There was 6 minutes left in the game.
We're up 22.
Savell Newton, big strike, incomplete.
Now, this has nothing to do with the fight, but a throwback to when they used to wear the purple jersey with the orange pants. Now, are you a fan of that, Jordan?
No.
Me either. I'm like you. I think it clashes. I like either the all orange or the all purple. I don't like them together.
That was one of the first things Dabo changed when he was the full-time coach.
Yeah.
What year was this, by the way?
I've always wanted
2004.
Miami to do that. To
I
wear,
hate
like,
early
either the
2000s uniforms.
orange and green together.
That was
I thought that'd be a good idea.
That was a Tommy Bowden staple. Was that combination right there? But
I mean, I've always preferred the red and black.
See, Paxton says he likes those Clemson uniforms. I never did like them.
I didn't care for them.
I think, and there's a lot of people. I think it's a generational thing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that
the best color scheme in all
the people that went to Clemson, the people that were enrolled at Clemson during that time, seem to like them more than everybody else does. I think it's nostalgic.
Alternate uniforms are great in moderation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was fixing to go with it. You know, I mean, I could see having 3 or 4 different uniforms, and you can come up with plenty of combinations of those for maybe one game a year. Do something different.
Yeah, I mean, it's I love our our military, our all purple military appreciation. I love that, but the mix match, the purple on orange just it looks gross.
Yeah. All right.
Georgia's helmets the new helmets they came out with look but ugly.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Oh, those new whiteouts.
Yeah, like why are the stripes? Why is the stripes?
And now both benches start.
Here we go.
You knew this was going to happen soon.
Damn.
Justin Miller and Matthew Thomas are getting into it, and this is an ugly.
Look at Lou Holtz.
This is ridiculous.
Oh shit! Here we go. Now the helmets are coming off. Oh damn!
But right now you got to get police control. You got to clench here. You got to get police control.
That one police officer is trying to hold back 30 guys.
There's more going on in the end zone, and now the state police have cordoned off the end zone, trying to.
Oh damn!
You got to get the sauce in.
Once you start kicking people in the head with cleats on, that's
right. Has just gone after Dwayne Coleman after the cordon of police out there. That's Dacus Turman, who's done nothing today, sitting out with an injury. He comes out.
Clemson declined the bowl game because of it.
And now they. This is embarrassing.
I can't remember what other. I mean, there was tons of suspensions. What else we did? I know we didn't go to a bowl game. We were eligible, but we didn't go.
No question in my mind. This is uncalled for.
And that's the only time we've missed a bowl game this century.
Dacus Turman is one of them. He ran after Dwayne Coleman on a dead trot, took off after him, and hit him.
Lou Holtz, this is now he probably already hated Clemson before this game, but this was his last game as the coach of South Carolina.
His last coach period.
Last game of his career, right?
Yeah.
And he, to this day, he still blames. I don't know if he blames Tommy Bowden, but he certainly blames Clemson for this brawl, and he fucking hates him.
Well, of course, because Lou Holtz didn't do anything wrong. He blames Miami for all the fights with Notre Dame.
Yeah. But he didn't even try to hide it. Remember we was on that show with Mark May on, what was that, on ESPN, I think? Anyway, they used to do like a pregame and postgame show every Saturday for college football, and he didn't even try to hide the fact that he didn't like Clemson. I mean, he wasn't pretending to be unbiased. Yeah,
I bet he wouldn't. I don't have.
It was pretty easy to tell.
I still think the funniest one, and I don't know if it's on YouTube. I haven't looked for it in a long time, but it was like 87 or 88 when Tallahassee PD tackled Miami's mascot because he was running after. He was at Florida State, and he was running after that frat boy on the show pony with a fire extinguisher trying to put out his toothpick.
Yeah.
Best football fight I've ever seen is the Andre Johnson one.
Well, I was going to ask Slim Shady a
Hold on, who'd you say? Did you say Andre Johnson or DeAndre Johnson?
Andre Johnson, the one where he punched dude in the back of the head after ripping his helmet off.
Oh, when he was with the Texans?
Yeah, against Cortland Finnegan, I think.
Yeah, what? Wait, say that again?
Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan fight.
When Cortland Finnegan had been screwing with Andre Johnson all day, and Andre finally had enough of it.
They rip each other's head.
Cortland Finnegan was always a troll. Finnegan got his ass whooped. He lost.
He did get his ass beat.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was thinking fighting Andre Johnson.
But I was going to ask Slim a question before we got into the fight thing. Why did Mario Cristobal go to Miami if, obviously Oregon had a whole crap ton of money thrown at him? That's his alma mater.
I'm not saying that that's not a factor in it, But what I'm saying,
Oregon also wasn't what Clemson is now.
yeah, well, and let's be honest, Oregon looks better than Miami right now, but overall in the grand scheme of college football, would you consider Oregon a better program than Miami?
Man, Matthew, I love you, man. I know you just didn't compare Clemson and Dabo Swinney to Mario Cristobal in Oregon. I mean,
No, I'm just saying, like, why wouldn't you want to go to your alma mater? That's the only question I said. That's the only question I had.
Other coaches don't go to their alma mater if they have it good. They find happiness.
They're happy where they're at.
Yeah.
I mean, even whenever you, like, I know this is just a video game, but they wouldn't put it in the video game if it wasn't true. I mean, even in NCAA 14, whenever you get to your alma mater, it unlocks some type of thing where it says, oh, you got to your alma mater.
So you think Dabo's going to try and get the achievement, the little Xbox? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just kind of pops up over his head. Oh, that
what are the points called?
Life was like that.
I also look at it.
I
also look at it like this too. Much like we were talking about with legacy players earlier, and how much they disappoint. Most coaches that end up back at their alma mater end up disappointing too.
he just said they wouldn't put it in a video game if it wasn't true.
I mean, you can
never put anything in video games that isn't
like
unequivocally real.
So coaches have real life like coaching skill trees, and like they just like they get points, and they just.
Yeah. It seems like the only guy that
you can magically.
Yeah, everyone plays FCS East and FCS West.
Yes.
To Slim's point, I agree about like coaches going to their alma maters, and it honestly to me, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Kirby Smart's the only one that's ever really taken that job and done something amazing.
No, he's not the only one.
That's different though. That was also his first head coaching job.
Which
Kirby.
is very much out of the norm. And I brought that point up before, too, that Georgia's gotten lucky with 2 first-time head coaches that had success right off the bat. That is not the norm.
Well, I think I gave the counter example. Well, Oklahoma's gotten lucky because Bob Stoops was a first-time head coach and Barry Switzer was.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm just saying seeing it with back-to-back coaches striking like that is very odd.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, Steve Spurrier won a national title with his alma mater. Philip Fulmer did. Kirby Smart did, and so did Bear Bryant.
Right.
So it's not out of the norm to go to your alma mater and win a national title.
No, I don't think it's out of the norm either.
It is, because you brought up 4 examples, and there's how many coaches over how many years?
I mean,
also a lot of these coaches went to no-name schools.
Yeah,
not all of them went to like Power 5 schools.
Well, yeah, and not every coach gets the opportunity to coach at their alma mater. So I mean, it's just, but it is what it is. I mean, it's different for everybody. But not everybody wants to. Like coaches aren't fans.
Speaking.
Like they don't just.
Speaking of alma maters, who's a bigger Florida State fan, Manny Diaz or Slim Shady Canes?
Slim Shady Canes easily.
Ooh.
I mean,
no. I would say Manny Diaz.
Yeah, Manny's an alum.
Considering what he did at Miami.
What's Manny Diaz doing these days, by the way? Isn't he like a defensive coordinator?
He's at Penn State.
Yeah. Well, actually, and here's another one you can throw into that. As much as like he threw up the example of Mark Richt coaching at Miami earlier. Mark Richt, as soon as he left Miami as a player, was a grad assistant all the way until he became a head coach at Florida State.
Florida State, yeah.
And Mark Richt had the best record that y'all have had in over 10 years?
He had one season. He had one 10-win season.
It's more like 20.
That's y'all's best record in a long time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Since 2004, 5.
4, yeah.
Yeah,
like I said, they were still making New Year's 6 games all the way up through 05. Because they lost the Peach Bowl that year at LSU.
Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Mark Richt was offered like one of them type of jobs that Steve Spurrier has now at Florida, at the Georgia team, but he took Miami's head coaching offer.
Oh, wait, you guys know what year this upcoming recruiting class was born, by the way?
I don't want to know. That's depressing.
2005. Yeah, I was like, yeah. So.
That's depressing. Is it too early to start drinking? What time is it?
Nope.
It's never too early to start drinking.
Oh, and speaking of which, you were talking about changing your graphic, for your cheers to the chat.
Yeah.
Since it's a little early for beer, just a suggestion.
Okay.
A lot of times, champagne is served with brunch.
Mimosas is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, you go.
Oh, bottomless mimosas on the Midday show.
Just a suggestion.
Hey, I do take all suggestions into consideration, and actually, it's a pretty good one. So, we'll see. That's true, but you mad, Bright? Look, man. Here's the last thing I'll say about Mayhem Matthews' conspiracy theory that Dabo Swinney's going to just drop everything at Clemson and run to Alabama as soon as Nick Saban.
I mean, who else is going to go?
retires.
Who else is going to go? Kirby Smart's not going to go.
Mario Cristobal.
Well,
It could be. We don't. I mean, that's. I mean, it could. You're
Are you asking me
to look at people? Look at the current landscape of college football, the current crop of coaches, and just pick someone.
I'll just tell you this:
Alabama's going to do the thing that like a bunch of blue bloods and basketball.
There's only probably 3 or 4 coaches that would turn the job down. So pretty much anybody else would take the job if it's offered to them.
Here's my thing, and I've said this consistently because I do believe it. I don't think anybody in their right mind, and this would include Dabo Swinney, wants to be the guy to directly follow up Nick Saban.
Coach Prime's the next Alabama head
Well, I mean,
coach.
someone's going to do it.
Hey-o. That would be something else. Or Lane Kiffin.
Because you're going to be, you're going to be held to an unrealistic standard no matter who you are.
I think I would like to see Lane Kiffin.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
Well, I think Lane Kiffin is going to Texas once Sarkisian gets fired.
I'm not on the gets fired train yet.
I am.
I'm still not on the Lane Kiffin's good head coach train.
I am.
I think he's a good head coach.
I think he's an okay head coach. I think he's an exceptional offensive coordinator.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the jury's still out.
I think so too.
He's brought Mississippi State up quite a bit.
Mississippi, but still.
Ole Miss, yeah.
So Slim is one of the people that can't let go of the past. His time at Tennessee and Southern Cal, he's still holding that against him.
He's a Miami fan. He can't.
No, it's got no. That has a part to do with it. But he's like 17 games above 500. That's not.
That's because of those 2 stops at Tennessee and Southern Cal.
2 bad stops he had.
Yeah.
Well, those aren't the only 2 bad stops he had. I also am old enough to remember when he was head coach of the Raiders.
Well, we're not talking
Nick
about.
Saban was a bad head coach of the Dolphins.
Yeah, we're not. The NFL doesn't count.
Urban Meyer's one of the worst NFL coaches of all time.
Now, to be consistent, what Mario did at FIU is why I'm not convinced he's an elite head coach either.
Well, that's fair, but I don't know why I don't know why we're talking about NFL. If we're coaching
because I look at his coaching record in totality.
But being an NFL head coach,
so is Nick Saban not the greatest coach of all time because he was mediocre for the Dolphins?
Well, no, Nick Saban's not the greatest coach of all time, but. Dolphins.
Oh, you're Miami.
I disagree.
No, Jimmy Johnson's not the greatest. Jimmy Johnson and Pete Carroll, to me, are in a category of their own because they're the only 2 to win it at both levels. But as far as greatest coach of all time in college, Saban, to me, has a legitimate argument for 2 or 3. Wouldn't matter which one you had him at. To me, Tom Osborne's better.
That's kind of.
I can't agree with that, but
that's why it's an opinion.
Well, and that's why I'm disagreeing.
Yes, we're allowed to disagree with your opinion.
Absolutely, I'm not debating that. I'm just saying that's my opinion.
I think Kirby Smart might be the greatest head coach of all time. I mean, he won a national title with Stetson freaking Bennett.
Well, to be fair, he had one of the best offensive coordinators in the game right now.
Now listen, I'm not saying that Saban's a terrible coach by any means. I'd have him somewhere around 2 or 3. Wouldn't be mad at either one of those. But if you're just going to use the argument, he's got the most national titles, to me that's a dumb argument. That's only part of it.
Well, he also puts people in the NFL as well.
I can argue even more, Slim.
Say what?
I can argue even more. How many coaches do you know out there have won a national title with every recruiting class they've ever had?
How many coaches out there have put teams in national title games in 4 separate decades?
First of all, Ballard, that's just not true. If you're saying at Alabama, then okay, but he didn't win a national title with a recruiting class at Michigan State, right?
He was struggling to beat Indiana and Illinois when he was at Michigan State.
He didn't win one with every recruiting class at LSU either. How long did he coach at LSU? Wasn't even
Nick
4.
Saban has more national titles this decade than Tom Osborne had.
He got hired in '98 by Mark Emmert.
Yeah.
Anywho,
So there's your piece of conspiracy as to why Alabama never ends up with any NCAA investigations.
Actually, his first year was 2000.
We're a clean program.
Nobody runs a clean program.
Yeah, nobody runs a clean program.
As clean as Bobby Bowden ran his programs, I guarantee they could have found something.
All the Alabama players drive Challengers and Chargers. I'm sure they all can.
Slim, you are right, dadgummit. Dadgummit.
I mean, my stepdad was saying something like they would hire he was in Louisiana. The LSU players, they would hire them to work at their little place, or they would give them money so that they would attend the LSU football team.
That's what we call the $100 handshakes, my friend. That's all that was.
And as far as Nick Saban's time at LSU, nobody can tell me with a straight face that 03 LSU team would have beat USC. USC would have obliterated them.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, unfortunately, I have to run. I'm going to go beat my head against the wall for the next 30 minutes. And I can't do that while I'm on here. So I got to go. Any last words?
Go Dogs.
Roll Tide. Have a good day, guys.
All right. Slim.
Aloha.
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 Aloha. Luke.
That's cute.
Fuck Arkansas.
Okay. Jordan.
I don't know. I was looking up I was trying to look up goodbye in German, but I wasn't fast enough. So I'm gonna just say bye.
All right. Adios. Thank you. You're welcome. Great show today. What did we learn today? We learned that becoming a joint member of the channel is an amazing and fantastic idea for private game streams during the football season. We also learned that you should not, at least according to me, you should not attempt to unload and load your own boat at the marina. You should have another person there. Otherwise, you might get run over by your own car. It seems to be an epidemic in this world of people who don't know that. So you're welcome for that safety advice. I care about the health and safety of my viewers, unlike some other people. Most YouTubers don't really care about your health and safety. I do. What else did we learn? Oh, we learned that you can't express your opinion. You'll get fined $100,000 for giving your opinion or answering a question. Better off just to say no comment. Pull the Marshawn Lynch thing. Anytime that anybody asks your opinion on anything, just go, I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's it. Marshawn Lynch is a genius, by the way. A genius. All right, guys. Thanks, all of you. Thanks to all the people that supported the show with the thumbs up and the shares and the subscriptions and all that. And thank you to everybody that sent in super chats as well. You're all amazing and fantastic. I'll be back tonight over on Uncle Lou's channel for the Lunch Money Show. Until then, have a good day.